get your ideas about what a good relationship is.
By watching The Addams Family.
Perfect. Yes.
Ma-da-da-dun. All right, Addams Family.
Gomez.
Gomez.
Kat was trying to say something and she got a little watered out.
Sorry.
I feel like my ideas for like what a good relationship looks like mostly comes from my personal experiences and what I have gone through in the past, and like making decisions on like what worked and what didn't work, and then also looking into the BDSM community and seeing other people's dynamics from like an outsider's point of view also adds into what I think contributes to a good relationship.
I would say don't go based on movies and porn. That's not a good relationship necessarily as standard set. But the people that are actually in your life that you see having a real relationship and loving each other. And I'm also going to just throw out there President Obama and Michelle Obama are like the ideal relationship that I would certainly look up to personally.
All right.
So also for me, just experiences with the relationships I've had in my past, but also looking at my parents and my grandparents, because I was very close to my family growing up, and because I was so close to them, like, you know, whenever your parents fight, typically they'll go into the other room. My parents would just do it in front of me, so I learned from a very young age what works in a relationship and what doesn't, and I try to apply those experiences as well into what I want at the end of the day.
So at first, I pretty much said I wanted my relationships to be everything that my parents' relationship wasn't. Because they had a very toxic relationship growing up, and it was a very harmful dynamic. And I grew up saying I never want to be in that kind of relationship. And then as I got older and I started to be in relationships, I just started to figure out what worked and what didn't, and what I liked and what I didn't like, and went off of, you know, what makes me happy in a relationship.
I mean, honestly, kind of same. Like, I definitely based my relationships off of like how not to be in a relationship from my family growing up, and then like TVs, movie shows, like all the shit you're like fed growing up, until you actually start doing research for yourself on like actual healthy relationships.
Yeah, I'm the same. I have seen a lot of unstable relationships, and I've always had to kind of go, okay, well, that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something else. And to be honest, it's a lot of A/B testing, really. I mean, when one relationship doesn't work, okay, well then we're gonna take what we've learned, and then we're gonna apply it. You know.
My cousin and her husband have a really like phenomenal relationship. They're in love and respectful, but they rip each other to shreds at the same time. They'll literally come home from work and she'll be like, all right, arsehole. And it's maybe not common, but I love that they just rip into each other and no one is upset by it. They just have really good banter. It's really loving, but at the same time, like, it's hilarious.
If you can't banter with your partner, is it worth it?
No, it's not.
Exactly.
Reminds me of JoJo and Lucky. They give each other shit all the time.
Everyone who's met us is like, oh, you guys are always like this. Yep.
Yep. Hey, it's funny though. It's funny.
I would say mine's the same as a lot of people. I based on like how I don't want to be, because my parents were in a very, I wouldn't say negative relationship, but it wasn't exactly what I had envisioned, what I would want as far as like being like emotionally connected and things like that. My dad's very like emotionally disconnected, and so I wouldn't want that in a partner, because I saw how much it like wrecked my mom. They're still together and like they love each other, but it's not the kind of love that I would want. I want someone who respects me and also like is emotionally connected to me.